So what was the question?
What does F.I.D.A stand for? Yeah. Okay, so F.I.D.A stands for the Football Integration Development Association, and we provide a league for those with an intellectual impairment. So we have 30 clubs across Victoria, roughly, and about 800 players. So they're all run within the clubs of a lot of volunteers that work in that space in enabling a competition to be held every week. And, all the normal things that you would see in a football ground, trying to make that replicated with those with an intellectual disability. Everyone aged from about, I think our youngest is about 13 or 14, right, and our most senior being about 60.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and so clubs are a mixture of, young, old, fat, thin, girls, boys,
right.
Like everybody's welcome, and everybody has an opportunity to play.
Yeah,
and that's
awesome.
Amazing to see, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And it's actually amazing to be part of. It's very difficult to manage someone with a disability within your family, and all you've got every week is football. It's pretty amazing to be able to deliver that. So
as an association, you obviously have to make sure that things run on a weekly basis.
Yep.
How do the clubs go about their fundraising activities to get kids and adults, I didn't realise to that level, on the field every week?
It's very difficult.
Right.
Some clubs aren't necessarily seen as part of their mainstream club, and so therefore their fundraising doesn't always translate into the All Abilities team.
Right.
Other teams are just on their own to create an All Abilities team, and often it's the families, the mums, the dads, the cousins, the sisters, the brothers who come along and help and support. Yeah. So when they've got a fundraise, it's, the typical, raffle type things. Yes. I actually went to something earlier this week around the footy for raffle road or something or other. And again, it's just pushing out messages around buy a raffle ticket. You'll get, but again, it's the same people that are always being pulled out. It's always, you go to your family first, and then your extended family, and then friends, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So there are better ways, and I think this goes a long, long way, to be honest.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So where will your funds go to, honestly?
Wow, I wasn't looking at this amount. Certainly, we need a lot of help in a lot of different areas. So everything from administration to keep the thing operating, through to the physical sort of umpiring, through to giving people shirts that can represent F.I.D.A.
Yes.
The list is endless.
Yeah.
We want to be seen as a professional organisation so that these people can run on the ground and feel proud to wear a F.I.D.A top.
Yeah.
And also be recognised by the other sports clubs.
I mean, I've been in footy for a long time. I've got 3 young boys, and it's been a big part. But I've never heard of F.I.D.A in all that conversation.
And you're in Seaford?
I'm in down a little bit further. Work is at Seaford, but Frankston South.
Yeah, and we have a large number of clubs down that side of town, southeast, and it's amazing you don't know about us. So branding, awareness, marketing, there's
they're all good things.
Huge thing that we could be using some money
towards.
Well,
if you need to talk to us, we have some skills in that area as well.
We might just draw upon that. Thank you.
If you were to describe the Firefly Initiative in your words to other volunteers or community orgs, how would you describe it?
I think from a volunteer perspective, it's, I know we always do things from the heart, and you don't get involved in something because, without that passion or interest in doing so. But it does get long and hard, and often people will say to you, thank you for doing something. They'll give you a bottle of wine, or they'll perhaps pay for a meal somewhere at the end of the season. This is a way of saying, all your hours, we can actually quantify them as starters,
big one.
And say, hey, my God, you've done 100 or 200 or 300 or 1,000 hours. And, I hope you've been able to reward yourself in something that you want. We can't do it as an organisation. I can't give you something special, but, there are a lot of organisations out there that will be able to give you something special. And please take that and think of us when you have a reward, and whether that's a massage or something.
Or whatever,
whatever it might be.
Exactly.
I think from the other side, some people say, oh, but, I do it for the love of it and I really don't want it. And it's like, well, that's absolutely fine.
What choice?
There's nothing stopping you taking on a reward and providing something back to the organisation if you choose to. So if you want to sponsor the trophies for the day or the medals or whatever it might be.
That's the other side.
Fine, you can do that. It's your choice. You can do what you wish with that reward.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be something you take. It could be something that you give back as well. So
and that is a point to be made, which is if you are a 1,000-unit volunteer, and let's say the club or someone put up an experience, 6 people here for a dinner for a very unique style of volunteer. That doesn't mean that volunteer can't have the organisation they support come along on that event and use that in a different way. We're not saying people have to do it our way. We want that to be open and explored.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the whole point of a currency of social impact. It allows you to be flexible on that front. Yeah. I was going to ask about fundraising processes compared to others. What are the methods you might have used in the past? You mentioned some of those raffles and the typicals.
Yeah.
I guess your clubs would use sign on the fence, or are they part of an existing venue that's already taken all of that exposure? How does that work?
It's all different for us because we're unknown. We're an unknown piece in the pie.
Are you sponsored by ISC, for example?
They do actually.
Yeah, I was going to say that's good.
But again, it's a lot of the sponsors are. If the clubs buy something, you get a reward back, that sort of thing. So. A lot of the businesses are still very much, well, what do I get out of it? Which is fine. We're all going to make $1, etc. Whereas this is a little bit more unique in that space. In that, we still need to operate. We still need to have a business that can generate the opportunity for our intellectual players. Yeah. So it's that chicken and egg. Without us, they don't have a league. Without them, we don't have a league. So it's about helping each other out.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing about a paradigm shift, if you take it to what that might mean, is that concept of that you're doing what you do already. Everyone's doing this. We're not asking anyone to change what they're doing. If you're giving money in a sign on the fence, a quarter or half of that's going to the sign writer. Yep. It doesn't make sense. Yep. Do you know what I mean? If someone's going down, it would be better to be at the fish and chip shop rather than taking $1,000, giving a huge discount to volunteers and getting them to come into a business, because you never get to measure it. No. The business just writes the cheque transactionally and goes, thanks, that was a donation. Yeah. So, I'm on board with everything you've said, which is brilliant. And that would conclude the presentation for this evening. So thank you all for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. It's really, really important that people in community get to meet other people in community doing good things. And so we aim to pull these things together because, to be frank, Tammy and people that run venues, it's a hard job doing their own thing, no different than a volunteer. To then step out and run a community engagement, it's a whole different level. So we're hoping you enjoyed tonight. Please grab yourself another drink and some food. We'll wander around, hopefully have some one-on-ones, and then you can get home to your families and a warm bed. Wow. Thanks for coming.